Hi everybody, EJ here with my top 10 films of all time, or part 12 of my 100 plus favorite films list. Before I get cracking on this, I want to give a big thanks to all of you who have been watching these videos and commenting on them. I hope you've enjoyed me doing these. And I want a special shout out to Mr. Joel 450 Jesus. It was his list that inspired me to share mine with you guys. Check him out if you haven't already. Awesome guy, does great videos. He already has 500 subscribers now. I'm sure most of you know him already, but if you don't, I'll leave a link to his channel in the description page. So on with the list. Number 10 is Dr. Strangelove, or How I Learned to Stop Worrying and Love the Bomb. Stanley Kubrick's classic 1964 film about the atomic bomb. Great dark comedy with Peter Sellers in three roles. Most notably the President and Dr. Strangelove. George C. Scott, awesome as well in this. It's my favorite Stanley Kubrick film. Okay, number 9 is Platoon from 1986, directed by Oliver Stone. Based on his own experiences in Vietnam. Great cast: Charlie Sheen, Tom Berenger, Willem Dafoe. Of all the great Vietnam War movies, this is my favorite because I think it portrays the fear and the anxiety that those soldiers felt during the Vietnam War. Just classic. Oliver Stone's one of my favorite directors. Okay, number 8 is The Sting from 1973, directed by George Roy Hill, starring Robert Redford and Paul Newman as two con men who look to avenge a friend's death by setting up a mob crime boss played by Robert Shaw. Just a great film, great setting, great music, great costumes, really good characters. I mentioned how much I love Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid, but I love this film even more. The Sting, classic. Okay, number 7 is Casablanca from 1942, directed by Michael Curtiz. Humphrey Bogart, Ingrid Bergman. What can you say about this film? It's an all-timer. Paul Henreid, Peter Lorre, Claude Rains, Sidney Greenstreet. Just awesome. Great characters. So many classic moments. Great dialogue. My favorite scene is La Marseillaise, when the French are singing their national anthem and the Germans sing theirs as well, and the French drown the Germans out. It's one of my favorite moments in movie history. Okay, number 6 is Saving Private Ryan from 1998, directed by Steven Spielberg. Great film about World War II and the D-Day landings. The first half hour of this film was, at the time, was some of the most interesting and brutal special effects of the time. Great cast: Tom Hanks, Tom Sizemore, Matt Damon, Barry Pepper, Edward Burns. Just a great film. My favorite war movie, and I'm a huge war fan. Especially World War II is my favorite period of history, but this is just such a great film. Okay, number 5 is One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest from 1975, directed by Milos Forman. Jack Nicholson, awesome as Randall P. McMurphy. Louise Fletcher, great as Nurse Ratched, one of the greatest female performances of all time. I was actually going to include this in my entry to Jesus's competition, but I had to leave her out. Barely though. If I could do 5 more females, she would be number 6, definitely. But it's a great movie. Okay, number 4 is Raiders of the Lost Ark from 1981. directed by Steven Spielberg and produced by George Lucas. I'm a huge Indiana Jones fan. Indy is actually my favorite film character of all time. You might be surprised that it's not James Bond. He's number 2. I'm a huge Bond fan, but Indiana Jones, Harrison Ford, the archaeologist, adventurer, is just awesome. I love this film. I watched all 4 movies the other day. Great movie. Just one of the best adventure action films of all time. You have to excuse me, I'm trying to rush through this because the first time I shot this, it took me 18 minutes, and I doubt that's going to be able to get uploaded, so now I'm blanking on what I said about this movie. I said a lot about each movie, but I just don't have time to do that. Take my word for it, I love Indiana Jones. Karen Allen is Marion Ravenwood, awesome. Denholm Elliott, John Rhys Davies. Ronald Lacey is the Gestapo agent. Paul Freeman is Belloc, the French rival. Just great. Love Indiana Jones. Okay, number 3 is The Shawshank Redemption from 1994. Frank Darabont's great film about Andy Dufresne, played by Tim Robbins, a banker who gets sent to prison for murdering his wife and her lover. Morgan Freeman, great as Red, who Andy befriends. I love their scene where they're tossing the baseball to each other, and that scene, the scene on the roof where they're tarring the roof, and Andy manages to get them all beers, and they feel like free men for a day. All the characters are great. I mean, the main guard, the warden over there on the left, guys like Brooks, played by James Whitmore, and William Sadler. Just awesome. I haven't met a person who doesn't love this film. Not just like it, but everybody loves The Shawshank Redemption. It's such a beautiful film on so many levels. Great story of friendship and hope. Okay, number 2 is Goldfinger. Of course, my favorite James Bond film. Sean Connery, nobody does it better than Connery as Bond. And Goldfinger is my favorite film. Garrett Frobe, awesome as Auric Goldfinger. Harold Sakata as Oddjob, the bowler-wielding Korean henchman, just great. Honor Blackman as Pussy Galore, one of the great Bond girls of all time. It has so many great moments, this film. It has my favorite quote, do you expect me to talk? No, Mr. Bond, I expect you to die. It has my favorite Moneypenny moments. It has my favorite Q moments, especially when he's explaining the car, the Aston Martin DB5 to James Bond, and he's talking about the ejector seat, and he says, Bond goes, "Ejector seat? Are you joking?" I never joke about my work, 007. It's my favorite Q moment, and I have a replica of the car, the Aston Martin, like a model scale of it. Okay, and number 1 is The Lord of the Rings. All 3 films, I can't separate them. I consider one film. They don't lose that tone or style. They made them all at the same time. From 2001, 2002, and 2003, of course. Peter Jackson, Philippa Boyens, and Fran Walsh, they took the impossible, took J.R.R. Tolkien's masterpiece, fantasy trilogy, and brought it to the big screen in such spectacular fashion. I could go on and on about how much I love these films. Great cast, of course. Elijah Wood, Sean Astin, Ian McKellen, Viggo Mortensen, Orlando Bloom, John Rhys Davies, Sean Bean, great as Boromir in the first one. If you haven't seen the extended edition, Sean Bean's performance is even better in this film. He gets more screen time, and it really fleshes out The Two Towers awesome. Andy Serkis as Gollum, just great. The best CGI character to date, by far. And also introduces a bunch of great other characters like Eowyn, played by Miranda Otto, King Theoden, Bernard Hill, Éomer, Carl Urban. You got Faramir, played by David Wenham, who's also great. If I had to pick one favorite of the three, it's The Return of the King, because it takes the end of the Two Towers, at least the book. I've read the books as well. One of the few books I've read. I read all the books right after I saw the first movie. And, but Return of the King is just so great. The Shelob sequence is heartbreaking, especially when Frodo banishes Sam. And then he comes back to save the day. Sean Astin is my favorite character in the, well, Sam is my favorite character, played by Sean Astin in the books and in the films. And the Battle of Pelennor Fields is just so epic, especially the charge of the Rohirrim. That scene is just incredible, and especially when they charge at the Oliphants after they make way to the city. That scene is just brilliant. If you haven't, I saw this film. I've seen all of them like 4 or 5 times in the theater. I was working at a theater when this came out, and the ending, it has multiple endings, as people complain about a lot, which I can understand. It kind of goes on a little bit too long, if you ask me, but I never get tired of watching these. 3 hours, whatever it is, altogether, it's like, it's got to be 11 hours if you really add all these together. So I'm going to be rewatching these tomorrow night, my annual Christmas Eve tradition. Usually I fall asleep somewhere in between the Two Towers, but I'll try and get through it. So that is it. I hope you guys enjoyed my list. Thank you for watching and commenting. Everybody have a great holiday. Merry Christmas. And everyone have a good time. Be safe. I look forward to seeing all your Christmas DVD updates. I'll be doing one myself, hopefully. So until then, I'll see ya.